On the left, we got the good old 223 Remington. Next to that, we got the 6.5 Grendel, 300 Blackout, 7.62 by 39, and then finally the 350 Legend. As you can see, they're all pretty much the same height, which means that they all fit in the AR-15 platform. What I'm wanting to know though is which of these cartridges is able to penetrate steel the deepest. I'm pretty sure that most of us are well aware of the setup that I've been using for these tests, but just in case you're not, this device right here is a steel sled. Basically, as long as the steel is sitting between these two posts, it'll be held at the exact same angle every time, depending on the thickness. It's also backed by these railroad ties right here so that the steel can absorb the full impact of the bullet. In terms of rifles, this is what I'm going to be using in today's video. With the exception of the 6.5 Grendel, which is running a 20-inch barrel, the rest are running 16-inch barrels, so it's about as fair as I can make it. First thing is first, let's go ahead and get the velocity so that we can figure out just how much energy these cartridges are putting out. Well, I guess you could say that the 16 inch is not optimal for the 223 because we're getting a lot less velocity than the box claimed. Looked like we got an average of 2790 feet a second, which is 450 feet a second lower than what the box claimed. Also, 47.5 is a terrible standard deviation. Come on now. Well, I definitely can't complain about that standard deviation right there. Looks like we were averaging 2609 feet a second. Well, it looks like the 300 Blackout got an average of 2185 feet a second with a standard deviation of 35.5. Well guys, I tried with the AK, but unfortunately none of the shots registered. I just can't get the magneto speed close enough to the muzzle. Now the 350 Legend, that's looking pretty good. We got an average of 2292 feet a second and a standard deviation of 9.6. Good job, Winchester, that's crazy. Now you may be thinking to yourself, shooting steel, there could be ricochets involved with that. And you're right, but let me show you my shield. This device right here is my shield. It's made out of solid 1/4 inch steel flat, so it should keep me safe from just about any ricochet out there. And to show you just how safe it is, I'm going to be shooting 10 22 LR bullets at it to simulate multiple ricochets. So there you go, there's 10 fresh shots right there, but here's to hoping that nothing comes through this window right here. So now that we got that out of the way, how's about we set up our first target, and I think you already know what it is. That's right, it's a 1/4 inch mild steel plate. Guys, I've been shocked by the performance of some of these cartridges before, so we'll have to see what happens. You know what, how about we spray paint it first so that I can actually see it with the red dots this time. There we go, that's looking better right there. So the plan is we're gonna go ahead and start with the smallest diameter bore size and then work our way up from there. So let's go back to the bench and start with the 223. Whew, we're off to a pretty good start. That's a nice clean pass through if I've ever seen one. Even at a greatly reduced muzzle velocity compared to what the box was claiming, that 223 zipped through the 1/4 inch steel pretty good. But up now we got the 6.5 Grendel, which I'm hoping has a pretty similar result. Well guys, all of my wishes are coming true, because look at that nice clean hole right there. That's even cleaner than the 223. That's pretty impressive. Well, now it's pretty obvious that the 6.5 Grendel zipped right through that 1/4 inch steel plate, but now we got the 300 Blackout, and based on previous testing, I'm not too hopeful, but we'll still go ahead and see. Well guys, I hate to tell you that I was right, but in this case, I was definitely right. It doesn't even look like it cut into the steel. There's definitely a dent there, but that's about all. Once again, the 300 Blackout has let me down. Guys, I know it's not designed for penetrating steel, but you would think if a bullet's going around 2200 feet a second, it should be able to do something to 1/4 inch at least. Anyways, we got the 7.62 by 39 up next, so let's go ahead and see what that does. Let me go ahead and tell you something. It is so much easier seeing that steel with the white paint on it out of that red dot. But anyways, we got another clean pass through right there. That's a pretty good looking hole too. That means that 3 out of the 4 cartridges that we've shot so far went through this steel plate. Last but not least, we got the 350 Legend. I'm really hoping that it does better than the 300 Blackout, but let's go ahead and see. I guess my scope might be off a little bit to the left or something, because I was aiming right in this section right here, but it looks like it's stacked pretty close to the 223, so let's go ahead and do that again. Well, it definitely wasn't a fluke. We got another clean pass-through right down here. Well, 4 of the cartridges are going through to the next round, and then there was the 300 blackout. I think we already know what's up next. That's right, a 3/8 inch plate. Wait a second, what? It's not fitting in there. It's just too tight or something. Oh, you know what I think happened is from the impacts of the 1/4 inch, it actually moved this post back right here, so it tightened it up. I guess we're gonna need to put it in the 1/2 inch slot. Sorry about that issue there, guys. I guess I need to beef up the system or something. Anyways, let's carry on with the same lineup, minus the 300 blackout. Before we continue with the testing though, I want to give a big thanks to Midway USA for sponsoring my channel. I've been shopping on Midway USA for almost a decade now because they're a great company in my experience. Anyways, they have just about everything hunting, outdoors, and firearm related that you could want, so I definitely recommend checking them out if you haven't already.
You are out of here!
Guys, I guess I'm glad I sharpened these front edges right here, because look at what I accidentally did. Look at all that spalling on the plate. Whoopsie! Let's try again. Well guys, that time it was on the steel, but definitely not the results we were looking for. Well, I guess we better see what the Grendel will do. I think it has a better chance than the 223, but let's go ahead and see. Well, this one hit pretty close to the edge up here. I don't think it was going through, but let's go ahead and do it again just so we have a fair measuring point. Well, unfortunately, that one didn't get us any better performance, but it was a better shot placement, so we should have a good measuring point now. I'm not gonna lie, so far I'm pretty disappointed by the performance of these cartridges, but we still got 2 more, so let's go ahead and shoot those. Well, good shot placement, but still no dice. It looks the same as the rest of them. Well, here goes nothing. I'm really hoping that the 350 Legend has some better performance, but don't expect it. Well, good shot placement, but still nothing. That 350 Legend was my last hope. Well, you could say I'm pretty underwhelmed by that performance. Anyways, I think it's time to go back to the bench and see which one penetrated the deepest. Because it's time to grind. It's kind of shocking, but it really doesn't seem like any of the cartridges outperformed each other, so let's go ahead and jump into the measuring. I know this isn't necessarily the most accurate measuring system in the world, but keep in mind that I measured each of the holes twice just to make sure that the depths were as accurate as possible, and they were within a couple thousand, so it should give us a pretty good baseline. Anyways, how'd we do? So the 223 penetrated 0.147 inches, the 6.5 Grendel penetrated 0.209 inches, the 7.62 by 39 penetrated 0.152 inches, and the 350 Legend penetrated 0.158 inches. So basically, the 350 Legend, the 223, and the 7.62 by 39 all had very similar performance. Keep in mind that these 3 cartridges were running a 16-inch barrel instead of the 20-inch barrel that the 6.5 Grendel was running. I really think if the 223 had been running a 20-inch barrel, it probably would have won, because out of that 16-inch barrel, it was 450 feet a second lower than what the box was claiming, so that's quite a bit. Anyways, I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, don't let ballistics drive you bananas.